everyone, how are you? And welcome back to Alex Builds Stuff. So in the last episode, we built this house, which you see behind me, and I did a few changes, just here and there. Like nothing with the house specifically, but I did change the walkway a bit so that it's more of a walkway that goes all the way around. And this staircase right here, which I got really bored with building it, and I will tackle this at a slightly later date, but anyways, this is going to connect up with all around this edge right here. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I think I might put something in there that would be kind of cool looking. Probably like some kind of maybe pretty like ecosystem or something. I don't know, something that would thrive off of an environment like this. I'm sure I can think of something ice related. I think it'd be really cool. And there's going to be a walkway that carries all the way around here and goes on, and these two caves have to be filled in, and we'll eventually reach the bottom here. That little puddle thing's got to be filled in too. That cave over there has to be filled in. Not completely, just enough to not make it seen. And there's going to be a substantial village in this area. So you'll notice this like sort of landmass right here, and aside from a few terrain touches here and there, I really like the shape of this. I am so inspired by the shape of it to build a massive tree right here. And it's going to be a custom tree. I've already done a custom tree in this series, and I will put a link in the description to where I have the video for the custom tree. I'm not going to build the custom tree on camera because I've already done it in this series, and I think if you guys see me build another custom tree, it's going to be redundant and it will drive you guys insane. What I will do after I finish building the tree and putting on the leaves is add the decorations to it, and that will be on camera. I'm not going to do it in this episode, however. Today's episode is going to be more like prepping for things so that I can get started on the big cool stuff on Thursday. All the houses that are going to be built into the mountain. The thing about me in doing like freestyle things of this nature where it's all pretty and shiny and it kind of moves in all kinds of ways and goes around, I tend to build these sorts of things very chaotic, and they become so chaotic that they look terrible on camera. Every time that I have ever tried to do a video where I'm just winging it and making it up as I go along, I produce some really cool looking stuff that I'm really proud of, but it looks so bad on camera. Like the video of it will just be terrible. So instead, we're going to map things out, because that will be much easier for me and also much easier for you to watch. Trust me, it will be. So first things first, I need to fill in all of this. I love floating snow. That's so great. I'm actually going to get rid of the ice and fill it in too, because there's no purpose to having it here. So let me do that. And yeah, we're gonna map. I want to do a map video for you guys too. Like, I've been thinking about it for a while, but this is very loud. My volume's not that high, but those sounds are loud. Like, that's louder than I like. Let's turn things down. I can't talk and listen to that at the same time. It's very distracting. There, now I feel so much better. You know what's weird too, by the way? See, these are the setting, not what you see on screen necessarily, because, you know, I move things down, but generally 50% for most of these, and music and jukebox sounds turned off, plus the master volume being 50%, is what I use all the time. These settings always carry over when I switch back and forth between 1.13 and 1.12, but my custom controls for the game to move myself around, they always get switched back to default every time I switch between versions, and that's only with going from 1.13 to 1.12, and I really don't understand why, because the controls are the exact same as they are in 1.12. It doesn't make any sense to me why some things carry over and other things don't. Oh, that's so much quieter on my ears. I don't know why I play with this so loud. I don't even need it to be loud. Like, I don't think I've ever talked about this in any of my videos ever, but because of being autistic, I have a symptom called hyperesthesia. And hyperesthesia means that I have overreactions to sensory stimuli, and I really don't need things to be too loud because I can hear stuff just fine. I have very sensitive hearing, and that doesn't mean that like my ears hurt necessarily. I mean, they do, but I have sensitive hearing as in I can hear stuff that a lot of people don't really notice. Like, I think people hear things, they just don't hear it as loudly as I hear it, so... And that's not like supersonic hearing or anything like that. I mean, I have a coworker who calls it that because he has a sense of humor that I don't have. But I do hear things. That sounds really weird to say that. I hear things. Like, that sounds really weird. That makes it sound like I'm hearing voices or something, which is not the case. It's just I have really sensitive ears, so yeah. It's the same reason why it's really easy for me to mix colors and whatnot when I'm painting, and it makes painting much easier for me because my eyes are really sensitive, so there's a lot of color that I see that I think people tend not to notice. And I'm not trying to make myself sound cool or anything like that, it's just, that's the way my brain works. I was born this way, I can't help it. So anyways, what I wanted to say before about the thing that I'm doing here with the whole planning and terrain and whatnot is because this is a very important part of building. A extremely important part. If you don't plan what you're doing, especially in the way that I'm about to do it, things tend not to go well. It's including, you know, let's say you plan or you don't plan and you're not 100% sure what you want to do. That's when things can kind of become a mess. Like, one thing that happened with butterfly glades was that I was just being creative and kind of winging it. And it wasn't a disorganized let's build in the slightest. And I feel like on camera it looked really good. But then when people made suggestions of things to build, I didn't have places to put those things, but those things were necessary to the build. So it's kind of like I shot myself in the foot. That's not good. So I just want to kind of adjust this a little bit for the eventual tree. It's so like hard to see that. That has like the most perfect sun glare ever, but the tree's going to be built on there. So I don't need to mark that out because I know what it is. I gotta get rid of this too. I'm going to keep the cobblestone there because I think it looks really awesome, but this thing here, this has got to go. Also, why does... Never mind. I was going to say, why does some water freeze but not others? But that's because in real life, ice doesn't freeze all the way, or water doesn't freeze all the way through, or lakes, I mean, don't freeze all the way through. So, yeah. I was like, why does it? Because realism. So, it's like, that's why. Definitely don't want the sand either. I don't think sand would be appropriate in a setting like this. It's just, no. Oh, Largo's... Oh, I see why. Well, you know what? We can leave that there. That's fine. Oh, that's marble. Yeah, we're going to leave the marble there. I mean, I'm going to cover it up, but it's fine. It can stay there. So... while I'm doing this, I do want to, like, chat with you guys about a few things, because, I feel like that's kind of fun, too, because I tend to, when I'm building, just talk about the build. That's boring. But also, I don't really talk to you guys about, like, my life, or things that are going on in my life, or experiences at my job, or anything of the sort. I mean, I work with kids, so there's a limit to what I can talk about at my job, because confidentiality and all that jazz, but... still, you know, I feel like not like I should, but I tend to feel more compelled to talk to you guys about things related to my job, and I just don't. And the one thing that's been going through my mind a lot lately at my workplace is I have to deal with these parents. Now, a lot of people come up to me and they say to me, oh, it must be so hard to work with kids, and that's not true. Working with kids is very easy. I mean, there's a lot of things you need to know about kids before you start working with kids, and not anybody can just work with kids. It's not that simple. But working with kids is not hard. Anybody who tells you otherwise does not know how to work with kids, because kids are not easy, but they're not difficult either. They're kids, and kids are kids, and if you have any kind of understanding about how kids think and child psychology, if you decide to study that, kids are not difficult to deal with at all. Kids are predictable. They can be they're very easy to talk to. They understand things far better than people give them credit for. And so I like working with kids. What I don't like is kids' parents. I wish I could say otherwise, because I'm sure there's probably going to be some customer of mine in the future who's a parent who deals with me all the time who's going to listen to this and be like, oh my god, as if those parents actually watch Minecraft, which I doubt. But there are certain parents that I deal with at work who I adore. Who are just like wonderful people, don't get me wrong. But there are a lot of parents, like one that I had today, who just kept debating the policies with me over and over and over again. And of course, when you're dealing with kids, you have to have policies. Why do you think that is? Maybe because you're taking care of people's human beings that they gave birth to or have some legal guardianship over. And maybe you don't want anything to happen to those children, like you don't want them to die on your watch. Not to try to make, light of it or be humorous, but you really don't want the human beings that you're taking care of to get hurt while you're taking care of them. It's important to me that those kids are safe and happy and have a good time. And so I'm going to take certain things seriously, like the kids have to be potty trained and they have to meet our height requirement. Why do you think kids have to have a height requirement and be potty trained? Oh, I don't know, maybe because we don't want to have like a 16-year-old playing with 5-year-olds. And also because we have this thing called a ball pit, and kids of a particular height can't climb out of the ball pit if they're too short, or if they're too tall, they could jump in and seriously hurt their legs. Because it's not deep enough to cushion their fall. And that's something to be taken very seriously. Again, I really don't want this incredibly tall kid who's like 5'4" to jump into a ball pit and crack their ankles, because that's not good. Nobody wants to crack their ankles. And I have said that to parents. I have said those exact words. I don't want your child to jump in there and crack their ankles. And they'll say to me, well, just tell them not to go in the ball pit. How many times in your life have you ever told a kid, don't do something, and they do it anyways? It's like they just won't stop arguing. And I am so tired of it, because it's like, give it up. The answer is no. This is not the first time in your life that you've been told no, and you're just going to have to live with it. Ooh, that's an icy iris. That's very pretty. I was about to break that. I'm not going to. I like the way that looks. So that's what gets on my nerves, is that. And the parents who come up to me, they want to drop off the kids, but then they say to me, sir, are you going to watch them? I had one parent once who said that to me, and I'm like, no, I was just going to leave them by themselves to fend for themselves and let nature take its course. And she got the joke. But it's like, are you serious? Are you really going to say that to me? Are you really going to go up to me and say, are you going to watch them while you're filling out the paperwork to drop off your child in my child care? And all I keep thinking to myself is, how disrespectful. I mean, really, how disrespectful. And it's not like somebody who's asking, so how does this work, or is there a process to this, or how do you work with the children? That would be totally appropriate, but to say things like that is just, who do you think you're talking to? you're so concerned about your child who is a human being, but you're not concerned about my feelings. What, that makes, like, no sense. You know, how can you be concerned for your child but not concerned about me as well? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I mean, it should go without saying, but, or this is probably like a very stupid question to ask, but how can you care about some people but not others? And I know why people have trouble caring about all people. I get it. That's the way people are, but it just boggles my mind. So, you know, I went through that nonsense today, and that doesn't make my job bad, because my job is not bad, but it does make my job significantly annoying a lot of times. So, quite often, my job is very annoying. So, yeah, I can't help it, I have to be honest. I actually really like the way that looks. It would make sense that there wouldn't be as much snow anyways, because there's going to be a big staircase there, so I didn't really plan that, but, I guess for right now I can leave that be, because I don't think I'm going to build right there. Like, right there, I don't think I'm going to do that, because there's going to be a lot of houses over here. So that's kind of my rant about that, but I don't want to use... I'm going to use andesite, just because I like the way it looks. So, there's that, but there's also just the people who try to take advantage of us or think that we're like a daycare. Like, there are people who come up to me and... Actually, better yet, before... The best way for me to explain this is to give you just a quick, like, pointer about, our policies. All the kids can only play once per day. And so, parents come up to me, and they literally say to me, so can I, like, take them out and drop them back off? Seriously? Seriously, you're looking for an exploit? Are you kidding me? Do you have, like, nothing better to do with your time? And as much as I like the play area that we have, and as much as I like your kid, would you really want your child to hang out with us all day? And do you really think that I want to hang out with your kid all day? As much as I like your kid, I would like for other kids to get a chance too. And with all humans, we eventually get tired of each other, no matter what our age is. And kids all reach a moment when they are done, when they just can't handle it anymore and they've had enough. And I'd rather not have a child with me when they reach that point. So that's why the maximum drop-off time is 45 minutes, because the kids do not need to be in there for longer than 45 minutes. And 45 minutes with one person, for any person, is a very long time. It goes by quick when you're a kid, but when you're like my age, 45 minutes is a long time. So, yeah, you know, I really like the icy iris, but it's just... It bothers me that it doesn't sit on the snow. There's just a big green square there. That's what I don't like. Like, the icy iris is pretty, but I wish the plants blended into snow. They never will. There will never be anything in Minecraft that ever is that detailed, but still. I mean, I'm sure there's probably some kind of mod out there that can do that, but that's not a mod that I'm particularly looking into. So... that's a good start for right now. So let's do some mapping here. So probably don't want to build a house right there, but I do want to build a house right here. So actually, you know what would be a good idea? No, I don't need to do that. I was thinking, oh, I should map out the perimeter of the tree, but I don't need to do that. So I want to build a house, and I want it to be kind of tiny. So I'm going to pick measurements too. Let's do a 5 by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is very tiny, but that's okay. I forget what the dimensions are of this. This one is, oh, it's just 7 wide. Okay, well that's fine. I like that there. We can have another one too. Can we? Can we get away with that? Oh god, this terrain looks so bad. Like, it looks so good and so bad at the same time. Let me just... So anyways, I want to do this. But make it look like I meant to do that. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. So, put that there like that. We'll pretend like we know how to terraform. I'm just kidding. You know, when I first started playing Minecraft, I would build mountains from scratch without, like, using world edit, like, block by block. And I was so deeply entertained by that, and nowadays, I do not like to do those sorts of things. I have to have, like, world edit. Eventually, when I want to get into, like, terrain building in this series, I will be using world edit to do that, to make, like, big things. Not, like, small structures, because I don't need world edit to build a house, but for mountains, I really don't want to build them block by block. That takes me a considerable amount of time, more time than I am willing to invest. So there you go. Should these be like, how close should these should be close together, because winter. Hey, you place where I tell you to place, you block. So anyways, that's kind of my thing that I wanted to talk about today, was that. So now I feel better. I feel a lot better. Let's, I know there will be scaffolding there, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5. I like doing these little houses. These are cute. I do want to have the houses really tightly packed together, like have them all grouped and whatnot, for reasons. I just think it'll look cool. I'm going to make bigger things too, don't worry, but I like to have small houses also. It's nice to have some variation when you're planning things, because then, what in the world was I just doing? Oh, an L-shaped house would actually be kind of cool, but not over here. But, it's just always good to have, like, different sizes and shapes of houses, because it just looks better like that. So, probably another house right here, although I think right here would be a good place for a, house of that type. An L-shaped house. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Make sure it's an odd number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll do 11. 5, boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 and boop. There we go. So these things will obviously not be built out of andesite. This is just like markers, basically. And right here, I can't do farms or gardens necessarily because it won't work, obviously. Otherwise the water's going to freeze and that won't help. So I think a good option instead of that would be to push back the terrain right here just a little bit, because we don't need it to have it, we need to have a clear path to that house. But instead of doing that, I am going to kind of make some marks, and it's going to seem kind of weird, but you know what, what do we want to use? Because I need to be able to remember this. Let's use green. Let's use lime wool. Tree. 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 Another tree. More tree. Tree again. And tree. And these are going to be mini custom trees. They're just going to be like scattered around, because when I looked at these mountain homes, a lot of the images showed all this foliage around too. And of course, they were in pretty non-cold environments, but I just like the idea of a cold environment more. So Let's do another tree right there. I know it's wool, but it's a tree. Trust me, it's a tree. And then we'll do I want to do an L-shaped house right here, or just want a big house? I think just a big house would be cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or slightly bigger house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we'll adjust that terrain a little bit. Like this. Boop, boop, boop. No. There we go. Okay, so there's going to be more, but that's a starting point. So I do want to have one really big house, though. And I feel like right over here is a good idea. Because I have the space, but also I just think it will look cool right there. I have weather turned off, by the way, so that's why I keep putting in the snow. Like, I'm sure everybody's thinking, like, why do you fill in the snow? Just fill in itself. No, it won't, because I have weather turned off. And, you know, when I want snow to cover things, like really cover things, I'll turn snow on, but otherwise, for right now, I'm just kind of filling things in. Although I don't even really have to do that, so I could just stop it. Yeah, I think, I know it's kind of like mundane work, or mundane looking work, but doing all of this makes this entire process for building this village, or this little like town, or whatever you want to call it, this little community, just so much easier and faster for the future, because on Thursday I'll be able, or by Thursday's video, I'll be able to tackle so many more things because of that. So we're going to do the super big house, and the super big house is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Do I want to do 17? 17 is way too big. So 16, 15, 14, 13. Is that 13? See, this is... I struggle with remembering numbers since the concussion last year, so... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope, that's not working. Alrighty, I have to... This is gonna sound really weird, but, I count better in Japanese than I do in English after the concussion, which is stupid, but, like, it's not stupid because it's cool that I know how to do that, but I just count so much better in Japanese, so excuse me while I do this. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, nana, hachi, kyu, ju, juichi, ju, ni, ju-san. Okay, yeah, it is 13. Okay, anyways. 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that doesn't work. I can't do that. Ni, san, shi, go, roku, nana, hachi, kyu, ju, juichi. Okay, there we go. I know it's such a weird thing. I actually have to do that at work, too. When I do a head count of all the kids, is I have to count all the kids in Japanese. I can't count the kids in English because I immediately forget the number as I'm counting. And that's obviously very problematic. Is that big enough? Yeah, it is. I don't want it to be any bigger than that because I want to build like a perimeter around it that's kind of fancy, like a wall with not like a garden, but there will be things in there like a storage area sort of a thing with things stored in it, obviously. So that can be like that. That's a tad... Well, not really, because when I build in the area, it will look not quite so isolated. But let me do brown wool for storage. That just makes sense to me to do that. 4, 5. Is that 5? Yeah, it is. Okay. By the way, just so you know, when I'm trying to find out how long a row is, I always go to like the middle, because if I see this middle block right here lit up, then I know there's 2 on that side and 2 on that side, and that's how I know it's 5 long. So instead of counting, I just do that. And that's something that I've been doing for the past year or so. And I don't actually have to even worry about how big this is, necessarily. I mean, I kind of do, but not really, so. Do I want to make it 3 wide? Yeah, I do. I think that'll be fine. So that'll be like the perimeter that goes around that. And I can actually build another house right there. Should be a big house or a little house. I could do the 7 by... Is that an even number? Hold on. I think we might have even numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, we made a mistake. We made a mistake. We mistook. And now the mistake is gone. No, I don't like that there. So let's do a 7 by 9 properly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ah, there we go. Okay. So the tree is going to go right there. That's a fair amount of houses. In fact, that's quite a few of them. And there's also going to be more houses up there. So if you think about it, this is going to be quite the... This is more like a town than a village. This is quite the populated area. I mean, I could kind of maybe just leave it as it is. I don't really have to build anything more. But I want to. But is it necessary? It's really not necessary. As a matter of fact, I kind of don't like the idea. What I think would be really cool, though, would be to have some structures around here on the ice, actually. And it could be anywhere, really. I mean, and I could have paths leading to it. Oh, that's probably not a good area. I think over here would be better. Oh, no, wait. I have to think about this more. This might be like an off-camera pondering, because I want to have ice fishing huts. The problem is where this is located is not a place where you would actually be able to do ice fishing because it's too far inland. Like, it's not inland, but it's too shallow. So you're not going to get anything here. You'd have to be out in here because most of this ice is frozen. But way out there, not so much. So, yeah, I know way too much about ice fishing, or I know way more about ice fishing than I really need to know. By the way, what kind of ice is this? Is this packed ice? No, it's just regular ice. Huh. That's pretty cool. This is a beautiful looking thing, by the way, and it's a glacier. It's a glacier biome. Oh, hello. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is ice plains. What is this? I have never seen this biome before. Hold on. I must explore. That is awkward. That is really awkward to see that there. But this is very nice. This is very, very nice. I like this. Ooh, that looks nice too. Ooh, that looks really cool. Oh, that's because I've been building there. That's why. That's why I think that looks cool, because I chose to build there. You know what? I'm looking at that, and I think it would be really cool to have a statue on top of that. I think that is very suited for some type of statue. It's low enough where I don't have to worry about world height, and it's high enough where it'd be cool. And maybe a temple built inside too, or some kind of shrine or something. I don't know, some kind of like ancient relic that's just built into there. Like, this is, the inspiration for this is drawn directly from real life Japanese mountain homes, but we can still kind of push it a little bit and do something magical, because this is not real life, and we can do what we want. So let me mark that for the future with a sign that says what it will be. That is not what I wanted to click on. I wanted to click like this. Anyways, so sign. So sign. Oh yeah, I forgot that this thing does this. I don't know what mod this is a part of, but it's really awesome. So, ancient relic statue thingy that will be awesome. That does not fit there. But it fits there. Oh, it's like automatically... That's so cool! I don't know why I would ever need that, but I love it. That's such a cool little thing to add in there to shift the text. Again, I have no idea why I would ever need that, but that is awesome. Okay, so now that I have a plan in place, I feel much better about things. So when we come back on Thursday, I will have the tree built. The tree will be completely built, and we will do the decorating of the tree. And if I have the time in that episode, we will do a house, probably one of the small ones. I might do that off camera, the whole walkway thing around there. I might not. I might save that for a later date. It doesn't have to be done right this second, but you get what I mean. So anyways, I will definitely have the tree done by Thursday. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed my little plan that I've got going on here. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I think it'll be interesting. It's going to be a very weird looking thumbnail, that's for sure. But anyways, thank you guys very much. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, then feel free to subscribe, comment, and like if you want to see more. And as always, I will see you guys next time.